Soon in trouble. His Citroën finally grinding to a halt on the road section. At least the controversy was over, and Bulgalski now led.
Tomorrow I drive very fast, but no maximum attack, but I sure flat out, yes.
The question now, could Bulgalski hold off Oriol? Oriol sensed the chance to win his first rally since China in 1999, but he almost pushed too hard. On board, you can see how close he comes to ramming the rock face. Panizzi too was on a charge. Bulgalski was under attack. But Bulgalski's Citroën developed clutch problems. Roadside repairs delayed the Frenchman, earning him a 2-minute time penalty. With Bulgalski delayed, Oriol had taken position first on the road and the overall lead of the rally. When Bulgalski did start, it was from behind the line, a mistake which earned him another 2-minute time penalty. With the man called Boog now out of contention, Peugeot were heading for a 1-2 with Panizzi the runner-up. Riding the roads like a bucking bronco, Tommy Mäkinen climbed to third. Cheers for Carlos Sainz, but he needed more than people power. He was losing the battle for fifth. But with his teammate in front of him, François Delacour, knew there was little point trying to pass Sainz. Fast Freddie Loix looked comfortable fifth. With a skill born on the Belgian black stuff, he felt just at home in Spain. Citroën have been strong in their debut with the Zara, but not strong enough. The last page of pace notes, the last few corners, Didier Oriol reaches the end of the last stage, the winner of the Catalonia Rally.
16:40.3.
Back at base, genuine pleasure for the veteran.
Maybe we are a little bit lucky because Philippe Bulgalski was quite very fast. But still it's a race. I lost a lot of race like that, you know, in the finish of one race. But I think what is very important is the fiability of the car. I mean, I have to do absolutely nothing with the car. You know, it's really a sort of magic car. You know, you just put a whole driver in the car and you win. So.
So this is how they finished. Oriol first by 23 seconds from Panizzi. Third and looking more and more the hot favourite for a fifth world title, Tommy Mäkinen. For round 5, the World Rally Championship headed south for the only Latin American event of the year. Rally Argentina provides some of the toughest and most spectacular challenges of the season. High altitudes, rough stages, and 60 deep water splashes all take their toll on man and machine. The rally's based in Cordoba, on the bridge between the plains and the mighty Andes, almost 390 kilometers of special stages. Tommy Mäkinen got the worst of the fog at the start of day 1. In a seat specially modified and a stash of painkillers, Sainz fought off the effects of back pain to bravely attack the Argentine stages. Didier Auriol's win in Spain was a shot in the arm for the sport's elder statesman. After stage 4, he was 5th overall. Out of sight, Richard Burns spun his Subaru, losing 12 seconds. Last year's winner was relieved to be as high as 4th. Less than a kilometre into stage 3, Francois Delacour clipped the inside of a hairpin. After stage 4, Colin McRae had a massive 39-second gap to Carlos Sainz, but the charge was not without risk. But McRae knew that without a win here, his title hopes were all but over.
And 6 right.
Rovanperä looked on course for a podium place when his car slowed. The problem was broken suspension, and then he drowned in a water splash.
Ei saatana oo totta.
Stage 7 caught out another driver. This time, Freddie Loix in a roll so slow, it almost looked like an action replay. But the spectators put the car back on its wheels and Loix back into the fray. Richard Burns clawed back a few seconds to McRae in the final few kilometres of the day, setting up a potential battle of the Brits on days 2 and 3. McRae, though, was confident that a 41-second lead would be enough of a cushion. But on the last stage of the day, Colin's brother Alistair found his Hyundai filling with smoke. Trained for such an incident, McRae turned firefighter.
¡Cuerpo tierra! ¡Cuerpo tierra!
This isn't the first rally you've led this year. As you know all too well, it can be a tough event. 3 days, make up a rally, 2 still to go.
Yeah, especially here, Argentina is one of the toughest, and there's a lot of rocks and places to catch out, so we'll just try and keep it going.
As football fans gather behind a goal, Argentine rally fans group around the water splashes. First into the natural amphitheatre, Colin McRae, the leader.
Takes the slow 3, opens. 30, 6 left minus line. 30. 6 crest and right tightens to 5 minus.
Burns knew he had to attack from the first corner of the first stage on day 2.
Tightens low. 50.
Sapped of energy by his back pain, Sainz still put up a good fight. His 3rd place appeared safe.
2, easy plus on crest.
As if Alistair McRae had not seen enough smoke on day 1, there was a much more serious blaze on stage 11. A brush fire had engulfed more than 20 spectator cars. Firefighters sped to the scene, including this water tanker. Caught by an amateur cameraman, the truck loses control in the middle of a surface area, clips a Skoda team official and crashes into the 2 Skoda rally cars. With both cars damaged and the team shaken, Skoda pulled out of the rally. With Richard Burns breathing down his neck, Colin McRae had no time for emotion, but he towed the line to perfection, setting fastest time on stage 12. Burns had tried every trick in the book to try and catch Colin McRae, but he couldn't put more than a minor dent in McRae's armour. Hanging on to the coattails of cars 4 and 5, Carlos Sainz. Petter Solberg was in the wars when his water bottle got jammed under his pedals. And then he lost 2 gears.
180. Early flat 5 right.
It took, I think, a few seconds in the last one, but we backed off a bit. It was quite rutted and rough, so I just didn't want to take any chances.
I think we have to rely on maybe a mistake from Colin or a problem with their car rather than being able to outpace them over tomorrow.
The final day, and McRae only knew parts of the first stage. His lack of knowledge cost him valuable seconds. Burns didn't look like a man with a mountain to climb, laid back. Sipping at his water supply, he really looked like a Sunday morning driver. But Burns' speed was anything but geriatric. The gap now, 21.8 seconds. The game was still wide open. No drastic need to hurry for Carlos Sainz. Third looked safe, and so far his Ford had run like clockwork. The biggest prize on offer behind Sainz was the fight for fourth. Petter Solberg started the day with it in his grasp, but then lost it to Mäkinen, who nosedived into the dirt, jolting the Mitsubishi so much it started losing oil and water. Grunholm misjudged a fast left-hander, ending up in the bushes. He managed to drive out, but his clutch was destroyed. Peugeot's rally went from bad to worse. Condor 3 times in the last 3 years. This is where Colin McRae ended his South American adventures. But back off he didn't. Even in the closing stages of the rally, there was little the rest of the field could do to match the two Britons. It takes a dedicated fan to stand in freezing temperatures on the top of the world. But Burns couldn't catch McRae. 11 months since his last victory, the Flying Scotsman was a winner again.
Okay. Spot on. Well done.
Second for Burns meant both Brits were now in the title race.
The rally itself, the rally I enjoy, and it's never been that kind to us in the past, but to win this year is a bit extra special, obviously because of the run we've had before now, so hopefully that's it, all back on track.
Not 10 points, but it still puts your season back on track.
Yeah, it does. And if you look at how many points we can get or we need to be able to be in with a chance of winning the championship, then it's exactly what we needed.
So McRae the winner, Burns the runner-up, and behind Sainz, Mäkinen fourth. Mäkinen now had a 5-point lead ahead of Sainz in the Drivers' Championship, but into the fray come McRae and Burns. Mitsubishi leading from Ford, and then Peugeot in the Manufacturers' Championship. Round 6 held on the frontier between Europe and the Middle East. The Mediterranean island of Cyprus may be a magnet for tourists, but for the drivers in the World Rally Championship, it was no holiday. Instead, it's one of the roughest, toughest tests in the whole rally calendar. Rally base is Limassol, centre for the network of body-breaking roads run in 60-degree temperatures. Leaving the beaches behind, the cars headed for the hills. Tommy Mäkinen was first off the line. Cyprus is not the place to throw away time. Stalling his Ford Focus costs Carlos Sainz almost 10 seconds. Sidestepping a huge razor-sharp rock thrown up by Mäkinen, Sainz tried to make up time. Calm, if not cool, in the Ford Focus, Colin McRae, and calling the notes, Nicky Grist. Richard Burns was the driver. All the other drivers expected to go fast on day one. Starting low down the order means you get a nice clean road, and Marcus Grunholm made the most of a bad situation and was fourth on stage 1. Harry Rofenpera was back in his job as part-time Peugeot driver, but 4 kilometers into stage 2, the right front wheel rammed a rock, breaking the suspension. He managed to pull off the road and out of the rally.
5 50 mètres. Gauche 90, long.
Furious after a brief trip into a field, Delacour put the bit between his teeth. But watch the gear knob.
Allez, 80, tard.
It comes clean off in his hand, but Delacour doesn't even blink. Tommy Mäkinen hadn't looked happy all day. He started stage 4 in 11th, and he finished it down a ravine. Mäkinen and Risto Mäki escaped unhurt from the slippery slide out of the rally. Richard Burns was within half a second of leader Marcus Grönholm after stage 5, but on stage 6 he lost 5 seconds when he ran into clouds of dust.
Long. 50, 40, so Caleb might have right long.
Grönholm might have been first, but he wasn't at full speed. He was running in the ruts worn by other cars, tobogganing more than driving. 7 kilometers into stage 6, Petter Solberg's Subaru went up in smoke. It caught fire so fast that there was no time to put it out, only warn other drivers.
Sur gauche 35 en bas, Sornière.
We heard a noise underneath the car, just 100 meters from here, and then it came lots of smoke into the car, and then we thought, this must be bad.
Day 2, and as he feared, running first on the road cost Grönholm almost 2 seconds a kilometre. Instantly, Burns took the lead. Colin McRae was up to second by the end of stage 8, but his tyres took a beating. But with 4 stages down and 4 to go, he was just 2 seconds behind Burns. Freddie Loik started day 2 looking for his best result in over a year. A spin was bad enough, but he also damaged his front left drive shaft, leaving the Mitsubishi down on power and Loik's out of the points. A broken fan put the thermometer on Oriol's Peugeot into the red and the '94 world champion out of the rally. Also out, Delacour, whose engine had blown.
It's not possible to start the engine again.
McRae was out in front now, but he didn't want to be leading at the end of the day, so Ford started thinking tactics. They had their team strategist, Phil Short, stood near the end of the stage, ready to pass on news of Burns' time. It meant McRae could slow right down and take a time slow enough to drop him safely to second.
I think Carlos is going to have probably the cleanest roads, certainly in the first run round tomorrow, and he's been going well today. So, yeah, I think it's not only Richard and Marcus we need to worry about, maybe even more so Carlos.
Colin felt the need to slow down on that last stage to get behind us so that he wasn't running first car, but I'm still feeling pretty confident.
Day 3, and now Burns would find out how much of a handicap it was going to be running first on the road. Up next, McRae, and by stage 16 he was visibly quicker than Burns, and the clock confirmed it. The Scot setting a time almost 8 seconds quicker, and with it earning the lead.
150. Right tightens to 5 minus, opens to 6 over crest. And 6 left, narrows through bumpy bit. Faster. Okay. Into 6 right over crest, 30.
First to really feel the benefit of the cleaning was Marcus Grönholm, determined to keep sights at bay and keep his title hopes alive. He set fastest time on stage 15, but feared for the durability of his tyres. But soon after, he had bigger worries. The world champion's car had again broken.
What can we do?
40, medium left, lost time.
The stages were now clean, but Burns had 2 punctures and was worried about not being able to finish the rally at all. McRae and Grist, though, oozed confidence. Sainz edged to within 7 seconds of Burns after stage 21. But he now had to weigh up the odds, push for second and take the lead in the championship, or stick with third and be happy to sit a point behind series leader Mäkinen. Toshi Arai dug deep and set fourth fastest time on stage 20. He hoped it was enough to keep Freddie Leutz at bay. Seven kilometers remaining and almost 20 seconds to make up. Burns had more than a mountain to climb if he was to stop McRae beating him for a second time in 2 rallies.
Slight crest at 50, left max, the long crest, the left max.
But it was too little, too late. Finally, across the line, Colin McRae, the winner again.
He left opens. Okay. Anyway, well done. Well done. Well done, pal.
Colin, you've just won the toughest rally of the year so far.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, the toughest. It's probably this rally, and Safari would be the other tough one. So it's great feeling and great points for the championship as well.
So a repeat of the result in Argentina 3 weeks ago, and the first time in living memory that 2 Britons finished first and second on 2 consecutive rallies. So in the space of 2 events, McRae has jumped from nowhere to third, and there's just 1 point between the top 2. Gravel, rocks and more rocks. Midway through the season, the World Rally Championship hits the hard stuff. The Acropolis Rally might start as a picture postcard, but the ancient monuments speak the truth. This is one of the oldest but potentially most ruinous rallies in the championship. The terrain has been testing the teams for over 40 years. Based in the mountainous roads of southwest Greece, the Classic is staged on 20 special stages, covering a total of 398 kilometers. But stalled at the line, a dreadful start for Tommi Mäkinen on a day when he knew it would be his job to sweep the road clear of gravel. You can see the rocks and stones carpeting the road, rooster tails of dust spouting from each wheel. Mäkinen lost almost a second a kilometre over the first 2 stages. Second off the start, Carlos Sainz, and already the clean line was forming. Keeping on it, though, is like walking the tightrope at 100 kilometres an hour. The man on the move, from no points a month ago to championship challenger today, Colin McRae. Even with a puncture on stage 1, McRae was 4th fastest. Grunholm was running second. But a rock punctured the underneath of the engine. Again, the reigning champion was out of a rally. His tally from the first half of the year, just 4 points.
It seems to be really difficult now. I don't believe how difficult it is. We were now, I think, more than unlucky now.
Peter Solberg lost time and a brief lead with a gearbox problem, but he'd attacked the stages so hard it begged a question from co-driver Phil Mills.
Only tyres left.
Marco Martin took his first ever stage win on stage 4. And Carlos Sainz was having clutch problems, but was second quickest on the last stage of the day. On the same stage, McRae was quickest by almost 10 seconds over 26 kilometres, deciding that maybe his rally could be won from the front, and so taking the lead. Burns was happy to let his teammates Solberg and Martin get amongst the Fords and try and force them into a mistake. Day 2, and streaking through the valley, Colin McRae. His argument for leading hardly looking convincing. He lost 4 seconds, but then again, no one else really wanted to go. So fast, they were passing. Up next, teammate Carlos Sainz, keeping a distance between himself and McRae in the belief that for the final day, a lower start order would improve his chances of a 4th Greek win. With the road rough and rutted, Burns finally had his chance to make a move. Second fastest on stage 8, and now just 2.5 seconds behind Sainz. The question now, whether to pass Sainz or not. Marco Martin's chance to shine on day 2 ended when he punctured a front tyre and damaged his front suspension. But Martin's troubles were to Solberg's advantage. Up to 4th went the Norwegian. Driving the last works Peugeot in the rally, Harry Rovanperä was second quickest on stage 7 after an overnight transmission change. Mäkinen kept playing with the setup of his Mitsubishi, but nothing suited the Finn. Stages 12 and 13 were reruns of earlier ones, but McRae again lost more time. Now all he could do was wait and see what the others were capable of. Sainz was faster than McRae on stage 12, but on stage 13, the Scot was marginally quicker. Burns was on a charge too, now just 5 seconds behind Sainz at the end of the day.
Right, 60, flat right, braking 60, fast right plus cut.
Day 3 and the grand finale to a rally that has so far been all about tactics. First up was Colin McRae, trying to defend a lead on a surface that, for the first 2 stages at least, benefited the drivers behind. But Sainz chose a wrong tyre, and it cost him dearly. Burns was making up time hand over fist. To find out exactly how much, Subaru hung out a pit board. But right after the board, the Englishman missed his braking point, locking up his wheels and sliding off the road. Nose to the heavens, he floors the accelerator, but the car is too deeply buried in the gravel.
Shit. Diff lock. No way we're stopping here, man.
Through Solberg's windscreen, you can see Burns' car. But Ford now had to decide whether to order their drivers to hold position. Colin McRae's lead was slipping.
6 left into.
And Sainz relished this chance to show McRae he's still capable of the fight. He was fastest on both 17 and stage 18.
20 flat left.
Burns had got back into the rally, but it went from bad to worse.
Tell me about it. Turn around, year 1. Yeah. Okay. Supervision for Richard. The prop's broken on the start line. We're just going slowly through the stage. What do you want us to do?
Richard, stop.
Okay, we're stopping. We just on the start line of this stage, the prop shaft broke, and if we carried on like that, where it's broken is very near the fuel tank, so we didn't want to risk carrying on. We could maybe have finished the stage, but to then go and do a 40-kilometre stage would have been very dangerous.
The final stage of the rally, the gap between McRae and Sainz just 5.9 seconds. McRae into the stage like a rocket, calmly and efficiently placing his car through the fastest lines, giving it his best, but knowing that that might not be enough. 2 minutes later, Sainz was into the stage and with a shot at his first win in 9 months. But in the car disaster, the engine heaving and coughing, he knew it was all over. What cruel, cruel luck. Just 28 kilometres from a possible record 24th win, Sainz pulls over and out of the Acropolis.
First started in 3-cylinder and then after a while I lost the oil pressure, so has to be I suppose a piston or something.
Solberg could hardly believe his luck as second became his, a career best for Norway's sporting superstar. Rovanperä tried as hard as he could, but in the end had to settle for third. Peugeot happy to just get a finish. Mäkinen finally got it together to win the final stage and take fourth.
6 right.
With sights out, Ford flashed a text message